Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to another fabulous Ask Engineer. We're broadcasting live from the Adafruit headquarters factory in downtown Manhattan. I'm Lady Ada, I'm the engineer. Sorry. I'm Lady Ada, I'm the engineer. This is Phil, he's on camera control.
Hello, I'm doing multiple things.
And lighting control, and chat control, and YouTube, Ustream control.
Yeah.
And all in control. We're in control.
Yeah.
What's on tonight's show, Phil?
Okay, on tonight's show, the code is servo. 10% off everything in the Adafruit store that's in stock.
Including servos.
Including servos. We'll talk about the show and tell, which is massive and
it was awesome. Lasers.
A little follow-up with B is for battery. Some news in the world of Arduino. A special guest who stopped by, Adafruit, we'll talk about that. Some interesting news around the web about all sorts of stuff. We've got mailbag. We've got a special announcement. We've got the Adafruit Learning System. We've got Time Travel Tuesday, Wearable Wednesday, 3D Thursday, Pi Day. We've got new products. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to have a trivia question, maybe something top secret. We'll see. All that and more on Ask an Engineer.
That's massive.
Okay.
That's a show. The cool thing about the show, this is the first show in which we're also mining Bitcoins at the same time. So we will make like 2 cents worth of Bitcoins at the end of the show.
Yeah, I SSH'd in right before the show and started the Pi Bitcoin miner. We'll get to that.
We'll demo that.
Just a programming note for folks who have watched. So we're approaching 4 years doing Ask an Engineer.
Wow, we're graduating.
Yeah.
We get to like throw our caps in the air.
Yeah, we've got, we're broadcasting on Ustream and YouTube at the same time.
Yes.
Always experiment. I did hear back from the folks at Wirecast.
Yeah.
And they said, because I said, hey, is there anybody else out there who's doing anything kind of like us? And they said, no. No, you're the only one who's broadcasting and doing all this stuff.
When you Google up like live simulcast engineering Ask Tech Show, they're like, there's only Phil and Lady Ada.
Yeah, so we're doing some cool stuff.
Okay.
We also upgraded our sound. We have some better lighting. We don't look as vampire-ish as we are. So we got that going on. So with that being said...
But I am a vampire.
You are slightly...
I'm wearing good makeup, though.
Slightly vampire-like. Okay. So let's first pay some bills.
Servo.
Code is servo. 10% off everything stock in the Adafruit store. Celebrating servos tonight because we have a fun new product.
Yes. We love servos. We're having a servo party.
Yeah, we'll show that product soon.
Get your servos out.
Yeah.
Serve up the servo punch.
Yeah.
Servo party.
Send your DC motors to the other room.
This is not DC.
It's not for DC motors.
If they only have a feedback loop, then they're servos. This is definitely not a stepper party. Stepper party is in like 2 weeks.
Okay. So let's talk about what was on the show and tell. Show and tell was massive.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
First up, we had Terry, who came back, and she's always got like 18 projects. She showed off her Game of Life board, which is cool. She made these custom boards. It's like Game of Life on like this 32 by 32 matrix, which is sweet. And then she also actually made a completely working laser light show using 2 like woofer speakers, which like every engineer I know has tried and never succeeds. So she kind of rocked that out. Nice work, Terry. Ethan is back. Last we checked, Ethan had a Tesla coil, and we set off the Tesla coil live on the show. This was a couple months ago. And Ethan's back, and he lost a copter balloon, but he decided to reuse his copter balloon or whatever control board with gyros and IMUs and whatever to make like an image stabilizing camera, not gantry, gimbal. Camera gimbal. So you're making a self-stabilizing camera gimbal with like an IMU that will like automatically stabilize the camera. So if you hit it or you tilt it, it'll automatically center. Chris Young is back with his updated IR mouse keyboard project. He uses sort of a handmade accessibility project to help him use a mouse and keyboard using an IR remote. And he had it on a Leonardo, and then he's like, Leonardo's cool, but I want it smaller, lighter, so he used a micro and some of our breadboardable NeoPixels so he could have a very compact, it's like fits on the back of the micro. It's really cool. Check out the video. He just like put the components on the back, and he's got this awesome keyboard mouse simulator built for him, which is neat. Andrew is building a bike suspension seat with kind of a cool like parallelogram stabilizing thing, and he's trying to figure out like, is it any good? Does it work? How cool does it work? So he's using one of our accelerometers and a Raspberry Pi, and he's like learning a lot about electronics. This is really cool because they don't have to go to like some data lab. He's just doing it. He's a science teacher, so this is a really great way to show science.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's happened is the democratization of tools and things, but you only hear about that with like laser cutters or maybe like 3D printers, but the testing equipment and Python, which is like the language of science, to glue all this together.
Yeah, so he can get the data out and actually, like, I mean, it used to be if you wanted to do this stuff, you'd have to get like LabVIEW, and it would be like you'd have to get a special DAC board, and like it could be a couple $100. This was like $50 in parts. Like literally, it was a Raspberry Pi and an accelerometer board. It was like $50, $60. So it's really cool, and of course you can customize it as desired. Any Linux board you can install. You know, or PyMiner software. Next up, Roberto is back. Roberto and his young assistant have like the coolest house ever. He worked on the Pixel Guts kit, which we sell in the store.
Yeah.
I guess he's one of the programmers. So he made, using our big LED button, the one that's in the HAL video, he made a press your luck video, like TV video game simulator thing.
Yeah.
And so his little kid, who's like never seen the show, I'm sure, is like playing Press Your Luck and got like 90 points and didn't get any whammies. And it's just awesome. And I want to go to parties at his house. So let's get invited to parties at his house.
You know, I happen to be a Press Your Luck fan, so anytime there's
I know.
Yeah.
I love it too, because he was kind of. Well, the best story about that game show is the guy who figured out the pattern and cheated.
And then he won. Yeah.
That's a great.
Yeah.
That's a great heist.
Yeah, we're working on a educational kids video game. Circuit Playground is the, well, Moe's Resistance is probably the name. But when you lose or something happens, the blue smoke monster comes along.
Yeah.
And I modeled that idea after the whammies.
Yeah.
So the blue smoke monster kind of comes in each time in a very different way. We'll have some previews of that, not tonight, but in the future.
Yeah. Anyways, this was cool. You guys gotta check this video out because it's awesome. Maybe like a simulator and everything. Anyways, and then finally John W is back, and he's been making. It was really packed.
Yeah. Lady Ada, how do people get on the show and tell?
Getting on the show and tell is super easy. Just go to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/+Adafruit. You log in with your Google Plus account, and then you comment on the thing that says comment here to get added to the circle. We'll add you to the circle, and then every Saturday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, here we will invite you personally, to show off your project on the show and tell. All participants of show and tell get a sticker.
Yeah.
To get a sticker, email support@adafruit.com.
That's right. And we're starting to see stickers everywhere, and the projects are fantastic.
You can get multiple stickers. It's totally cool.
Yeah. You know, if you can't make it to a Maker Faire and you want to kind of see people make stuff every single week, or if you go to Maker Faire and you just want more, the show and tell is kind of like the digital version of that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Moving right along, we're going to do some news. Some quick stuff. So B for Battery is out. It's our second episode in our kids show, Circuit Playground. And B is for Battery has you and Adabot, and you make a lemon battery.
That's right.
And a lemon battery, briefly, just very quickly, how does that work?
Oh boy.
Well, you made one.
Yeah, I did. So basically, there's a chemical reaction that occurs when you have, in this case, zinc and copper, and they're connected by like acidic solution. This is the electrolyte. And I can't remember. I think there's extra electrons in.
They're separated by the electrolyte.
They're separated, but it does allow there's a potential between.
And they push it around from the anode to the cathode. Right?
Yeah. So there's. I can't remember which one's the anode and which one's the cathode. But basically, one of them has extra electrons. The cathode.
Yeah, it's the cathode that has.
And
extra
the anode has holes. But I don't know which is zinc and which is copper. And then the extra electrons can feel the holes in the anode, and so it passes through the circuit, so the electrons kind of get pushed along, and then they slot into the holes into the other metal. And so, you can use a lemon is a fine electrolyte. Yeah.
So we thought this was a good project. When I was starting to write this up, Colin and I kind of figured out how can we do this. He made a great illustration. We wrote the script. We filmed it. And one of the great things is the day the video came out, parents got lemons, they had pennies, they had nails. Everything was on hand.
Yeah.
And they had an LED. And so we're getting all these super cute photos of kids making lemon batteries after watching Circuit Playground. So here's the next one. This one just came in. Look at this.
Aww.
Look, these kids are making lemon batteries. This is the future. This is, I don't know how to make more engineers through school or through anything, but I think this is going to be one of the ways. And
I got there's teamwork going on.
Yeah. This is siblings that are working on these together. Okay. All
right.
So that's lemon batteries. Next up, some news in the world of Arduino. Arduino has something interesting going on.
Yes.
And it's from a surprising partner. So a million years ago.
Historic age.
Yeah, I wrote an article on Make called Sony's War on Hackers, Makers, and Innovators and Entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because Sony, unfortunately, had this long history of suing or going after people who were like writing their own software for the IBOs. they went after GeoHot for he wanted to have his PlayStation run Linux. They sued someone for making a DIY case out of an old Walkman that held an iPod.
That was the coolest project.
Yeah, they just kind of kept doing really crummy things. But Sony is turning over a new leaf, I believe. I think they want back. They want to be back.
Yeah.
And so, you know, recently they debuted what's going to be the PlayStation 4, and they said no DRM. You can trade in your games. It doesn't have to be online. They basically were kind of countering what Microsoft did with the Xbox One.
Which was a little bit of a
surprise.
Well, but it's interesting because people really lashed back against the Xbox, and I would have thought like Sony would have just been like, yeah, we're doubling down on it.
Yeah.
Because, well, rootkits, but whatever. But like they actually were like, you know what, that didn't work out. People like that was part of our downhill.
Yeah. So
history.
Sony has a watch. And I have one of these.
We actually have
you know I have this crazy watch collection.
It's got a color OLED. Yeah, it's got color OLED.
And so what they did is they actually made it so you can use the Arduino IDE. There's a different version of the IDE. They worked with Arduino. It's beta, alpha, actually. And you can program the Sony watch using our Arduino IDE. They're starting to play around with this. Now, the question is...
Cool.
Yeah. Now the question is, like, is this a response to Pebble and Chris Walker, who was just recently here, who has Agent, and maybe Apple's new iWatch? And is that what's going on, or are they just opening up? Or like, what's going on? You know, that's the question. So, check it out. George will link it up.
Yeah,
in the comments.
I didn't hear anything about this, so it kind of came out of nowhere, and it was surprising because you had this watch, but like.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot to do with it.
I didn't know you could even program it.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot to do with the watch.
But I want to check it out. I did see somebody posted like a sketch that they got like a ball bouncing on it. So yeah, I guess you can use it. I wonder what the chip inside is.
You can take it apart.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'll take it apart.
We have a tear down Wednesday that we do now, so maybe we'll take it apart.
All right.
Okay, next up we had a special visitor at Adafruit, iJustine, and here's Becky. Wearable project. There's a new wearables show on AOL, Wearable Tech, called Hardwired.
We make everybody who visits wear the gigantic electron bow.
So they were filming. Here's Lady Ada and iJustine and Flora, and so that's coming out pretty soon. Look for it. We posted their first episode. iJustine wore a dress that was made out of dried wine skin. There's like some way you can do that, and then ours is more on the electronic side. So lots of footage. Becky and Rissa were shooting all day. You did an interview, so that'll be there.
Yeah, they made a little bow kit. A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, some maker business news. Inventables scoring $3 million in funding.
They've been around for a long time. They were around when I was in school, so they've been around since at least 2003.
Yeah.
Or 2004. Yeah, they've been around for quite a bit, and they've always had materials, and they've started to branch out into not just like components, but they originally were like a design firm consultancy type thing, I think. But now it's like they have like their own CNC mill.
Yeah.
And I think that was like they did like a not a Kickstarter, but like a crowdfunding.
Yeah, they had a Kickstarter.
Thing,
if you spend enough, like they'll make the thing.
Yeah, and so that actually I think worked out really well for them, and now they have like they help fund like MakerSlide. I don't actually know completely the details, but they're starting to do more original stuff instead of just like, well, we found this plastic that's like glowy, and so we're going to sell it, which is actually smart, right? They should not just get commodity stuff.
Yeah, and their slogan, which is clever, is it's the hardware store for designers.
That's a good slogan.
So I think it's neat to see this. We've recently expanded our offerings, and we have a material section that's been doing great. So there's obviously a need. The question is, once you take funding and investment, and we'll talk about a big one that just happened, you have to IPO, go public, merge or get acquired, right, or go bankrupt.
You can keep private and give out dividends, but that never happens. So yeah, there's an option to talk about.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, most of the time it doesn't work out.
Most of the time it does work out.
But the maker market is pretty strong, and we'll talk about that soon. But that's neat. So, you know, who would buy Inventables is the next question.
Could be Amazon has Amazon Supply.
Yeah, they could say, okay.
They have a 3D printing store now.
Yeah, they could say, you're doing such a good job. We want your team an acqui-hire, as they call it.
But it's tough because it's like.
Yeah.
It with stores, it's like you can just build, like it's unless they have their own intellectual property or some community. Like they don't have a community of value. They don't have. Something that it's just a store, so they have to work on that.
Yeah, they'll have to figure out. You know, so once you take funding, $3 million, that means you have to your exit should be 10x. So they need to sell it for at least $30 million. $30
million, yeah, at least. $3
million bucks, a lot of money.
What is interesting is though, you know, I do buy a lot of stuff from like McMaster-Carr or like SDPSI.
We're gonna be talking about them in just a second.
But they don't have there isn't a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
Very little overlap. So it is interesting. They are really
Yeah.
the only store that does a particular thing.
I think there's one kind of cool thing that you could see. So there's Craigslist, right? And people would kind of buy and sell goods. But then there's also eBay. eBay, buying and selling goods, right?
Yeah.
And then eBay wasn't really the place for craft and handmade goods, so Etsy came along.
Yeah.
Etsy, they're doing great, but then there really isn't a place to sell electronics, and Etsy kind of doesn't like that. And so what happened? Tindy came along.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat to watch markets form. So, you know, Home Depot, you don't go there to get laser cutter stuff.
Yeah.
You don't, and so now there's an Inventables. Yes.
Yeah, niche markets of today is the big markets of tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, next up. This just, I just have to point this out as a little point in time here. The post office was down. Worldwide services were down for about 12 or 16 hours.
Incredible.
You know,
Very rare.
Yeah, I get an alert on my phone when anything happens on the like Adafruit site because like my actual health is tied to the website, and so like,
No, you get an alert because it's like, well, you haven't
Yeah.
if you haven't gotten any orders from the post office,
Yeah.
it could be. There has been API changes or like a computer breakdown, so it's like.
yeah. So
It's handy to know.
So I get a message. I'm like, oh wow, the post office is really down. So they had some type of DNS thing. What's interesting is how fast stuff goes now because we have so many orders that are coming in.
Yeah.
People instantly are like, you know, I can't ship via postal. What's going on? And we immediately put up a post and everything. But they were down for a really long period of time, longest I've ever seen in the 6 years or so of us doing
Did you ever
this.
find out what it was?
I think it's just a DNS issue. There LinkedIn, Yelp, and like Fidelity, insurance, and the post office all had some weird DNS things. Some people are saying it's a DNS attack. Some people are saying it's.
We were down. We had a DNS outage a couple months ago, and it was like a really weird DNS problem. Like it was not a misconfiguration or a pointer or anything. It was like there was a serious problem with like the DNS servers, and so people couldn't get to Adafruit. But they fixed it after a couple hours. It was bizarre.
I'm gonna blow through these because I want to get us going.
All right,
here.
so going.
Yeah. Next up, McMaster Car. Speaking of, they have a new iPad app. So all the great things about the McMaster catalog. So it's not heavy anymore.
It's not like this big.
Yeah. So it's an iPad. Amazing. It has to be an iPad. It can't be an iPhone. Too small.
No, it has to be an iPad.
Yeah. So check it out. We linked to it
I will
up on
check it
our
out.
site, and now you have something to do besides reading data sheets and comic books on your iPad.
Master.
All right. Next up,
It's fun to browse through the catalogs. This will be great. Get ideas just from the parts.
Packet the mailbag.
Hey, Packet.
Hey, Packet. All right, Packet brought us a letter. This is from a customer. Thank you so much for teaching me. I'm now ready to go forward with all the project I dreamed up. You guys rock.
Okay.
Thank you.
Straight to the point.
Every week we have a mailbag. We have lots of letters. We read them on the show.
Thanks, Packet.
Next up, on Adafruit Jobs board, someone is offering electronic assembly, through-hole, SMD soldering, prototype builds. You name it. We get asked if we do this. We do not do this besides our own products. So
But this person does.
If you're looking for it on the job board, it is there.
Person's ready to be hired.
All right, big news in the world of Adafruit. We hit our 300,000th order. Lady Ada, 300,000 orders.
300,000.
Yeah. So, fellow's name was Cole. He was in Florida. He ordered an Arduino starter kit. And I called him up and I said, hey, you're our 300,000th order. Can we send it to you for free and do something special? And he goes, yeah. And I said, can I mention maybe on our show and on our website that you know, you're our 300,000th winner? It'll just be your first name. And he said, absolutely, great.
Yay.
So this is a big deal. We were just up to 250 not too long ago. We were just up to 200. We're moving faster than ever. The rate of orders has never been.
How many orders on average do we get a day?
So it depends. Sometimes it can be as much as 1,000. Sometimes it can be 400 or 500. Sometimes 700 of the order is going up, and the average number is going up. And you know, in a month, shipping 15 to 20,000 orders is not unheard of or
Per month.
You know, crazy.
Yeah.
So it's working out. So thank you everybody out there. You're the reason we're here.
Yay! Don't forget the code.
Yeah.
Servo.
If you use Servo, you can get a discount for some of those things.
300,000 customers.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Adafruit Learning System. We're going to jam through these really fast.
Let's jam it.
Adafruit Learning System, little milestone, just worth mentioning. We're up to 249
Ooh.
tutorials.
250.
Let's just let numbers tonight.
Next week,
Okay.
maybe 250.
All right. Tell me what these are really fast.
We just did a BMP 085 driver update. K-Town went crazy. He did like some great calculations and math and analysis, and he added a new page about barometric pressure and altitude calculations. Anyway, it's all good. Go read it if you're excited. We also updated a little starter guide tutorial to the GA1A S202WP sensor. It's from Sharp, I think, and it's a excellent log scale analog sensor with analog output. It's a really great analog light sensor. It works from pitch dark to like sunlight, full log linearity. We also have a starter tutorial for the BeagleBone using our new Python GPIO library, how to blink an LED. You have an LED, you have a breadboard, you have BeagleBone Black, you're like, let's do this thing. You can now do this thing.
Yeah. Generally speaking, if there isn't an example on how to blink an LED on your platform that you're interested in, you might want to wait until there's an example, because that's when you know that you can start doing stuff with hardware.
Well, we had to just
it's the hello world of hardware.
It is. We had to do a lot to get to this point. We had to write this library. We had to like get everything running. We had all these tutorials. So yeah, we're working on more BeagleBone Black tutorials. But look, hey, we started. We have one.
Yeah. Okay. Except this one just went live.
Just went live. Yeah, we did a couple of small tutorials. This is the Sharp memory display used in many smartwatches. This is similar to the display used in the Pebble and Agent smartwatch and other smartwatches. It's not e-ink. It's much faster, but it uses very, very low power, ultra low power. You can have the display on, and you only have to refresh it once a second. So you can have ultra low power usage. You can have this display running off of a coin cell for months without any problems. So it's a really cool display. It's kind of a shiny look. And yeah, we finally got some, so we have a breakout in the store. In our tutorial.
Next up, on Mondays, I like to post up a little manufacturing video sometimes, something going on in the shop. So I've been doing these little time lapses. These are fun. So I got another one. This is a servo shield.
Let's go.
And here it is.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Servo shield.
Servo's coming out of the oven.
All right, moving right along.
Hot and toasty.
We're gonna go right to Wearable Wednesday. Wearable Wednesday, day of the week where we celebrate wearable projects, and more and beyond. This project kind of went everywhere. So in New York City, there's something called City Bike.
Bike sharing.
Yeah, bike sharing. Use a credit card, and you swipe your card, you get a bike for the day. Super cool. We see them everywhere. It is really taking over New York City. Excellent, crazy thing to do, because no one expected New York to actually pull it off. Happened.
Yeah.
It's happening. Some really wealthy people don't like it because they think the bicycles are death machines.
Well, they take up parking spots, because where there was parking spots, they would take 2 car parking spots and they'd put parking for like 30 bikes.
Doesn't seem like big cities should have this many cars, and that's one of the goals, is to reduce the number of cars in a big city.
There's not enough space for cars in New York.
Yeah, that'll help you navigate to a nearest bike station. It also will, if you turn your head, it'll show the directions. It does all sorts of stuff. First smart helmet that I know of. Let's look up a couple photos.
There you go.
Styling. And then let's watch the video.
City bikes are taking over New York City, giving thousands of residents and tourists a new easy way to get around. But every rider needs a helmet, so we're going to show you how to build this project that navigates you to the nearest city bike station with high visibility for the 20,000 trips these bikes take every day. The helmet is powered by Flora, Adafruit's wearable electronics platform, and we added a GPS and compass for navigation. The LEDs up front help guide you to one of the 330 city bike stations in Manhattan or Brooklyn. And the whole circuit is powered by a slim, rechargeable lithium polymer battery. You should never affix anything to the outer surface of your bicycle helmet for your own safety. But we found this helmet online with these grooves, perfect for LED strip. And a single piece of our NeoPixel strip travels around the grooves, placing 4 LEDs up front for navigation and the rest all over for visibility and crazy animations. You can learn how to build this project yourself by visiting the step-by-step tutorial in the Adafruit Learning System. The link is in the description. There you can also find the Arduino code, so you can customize with your own points of interest and LED animations. Just don't run afoul of your local bike light laws or any out-of-touch members of the Wall Street Journal editorial board.
Stop becriming the city!
I can't wait to see your bicycle projects on our weekly show and tell on Google+. And subscribe to the Adafruit channel on YouTube for a new wearable project every Wednesday.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, why don't you just put it on real quick?
Yeah, let me turn it on. So on the back, there's this floor, and you can see the GPS module, so you can see a little closer up, and I'll turn it on by flipping the switch. And so naturally, it has white LEDs in the front and red LEDs in the back, so that's good. That's like safety colors, usually white in front, black, red in the back. And then you can put it on. And as you can see, there's 4 channels in this helmet. And then the reason we got this helmet is because it has these channels in it already, so we didn't have to modify the helmet. And there's actually a city bike station over about this way, right, kind of in front of me.
Yeah.
So as I turn, you can see like this LED lights up, and then these flash. And then when I'm heading straight, I can see these 2 LEDs, and then this is heading straight. And then when I turn, it's these LEDs. So it actually uses the GPS. And the compass sensor.
Flora GPS, Flora compass sensor, Flora.
Yeah. The compass sensor, you actually need the GPS and the compass sensor. GPS tells you where you are, but GPSs don't tell you which way you're looking. GPSs are only like point location. So using the compass and the GPS lets you know which where it is. And we programmed into the GPS all the locations. There's like 60 or 70 locations of city bike stations, and then it will automatically point you to the right one. So,
yeah,
it's very sweet.
Oddly enough, so we're kind of two for two with some fun things. So I found this helmet online, and I knew that this would be great for putting the LEDs in. So we got one of these, very hard to get because they're only sold overseas at the moment. And previously we did a Converse project where we lit up shoes. And both companies, Converse from our last wearable project, and then this company, Carrera, who makes the helmet, both emailed us and said, we want to build this. So we're going to talk to them. We don't do consulting or design work. We're not like IDEO or Frog Design. We actually want to teach them how to do this on their own.
Yeah, this is a fun project. And the cool thing is you can modify. It doesn't have to be a helmet. You can modify your bag.
Yeah.
You can modify your shirt. You can modify anything. And this is just a really good demo of using the GPS in Florida to make something portable. And then of course, if you don't want to use the GPS, you can just make it light up and blink like rainbow colors.
Yeah.
Good at Burning Man when you're like, you don't want to get hit by an art car.
Yeah. So we'll see. We're going to try to get more of these helmets in because we have a couple more ideas. I'm going to try to work on. We had a MakerBot in where we live now. Yeah. So I'm working on this thing that maybe it'll just kind of slide in, and maybe it'll be a little bit more organic, so it kind of merges itself in.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Cool project by Becky and the wearable staff.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice job.
Next up, 3D Thursday.
We're up to Thursday.
Yeah, we're up to Thursday. I skipped Time Travel Tuesday. We're just gonna run out of time tonight.
Oh no.
Yeah, 3D Thursday. No news in the world of 3D this week. Nothing happened.
Okay, I skipped a Pi Day.
Yeah. There's some big news in the world of 3D. So first off, someone made this super cute robot and put it on Instructables.
It's so cute.
Yeah. So
little
Adafruit, all Adafruit electronics, little 3D printed Adafruit. That was kind of neat. And then the really big news that we'll talk about because we want to spend some time on this, MakerBot merged or got acquired, depending on how you want to spin it, for around $400 million in a stock trade.
Stock trade with a publicly held company.
Publicly held company.
It's kind of important. If you're going to trade your company for stock, do it with a publicly held company.
Yeah.
It's worth something.
So this is a little bit of a surprise for a lot of people out there because it wasn't expected.
There was some gossip.
Yeah, there's always gossip about MakerBot.
We didn't know.
Yeah. We had suspicions. We thought that there was probably an acquisition coming for reasons that we can't go into. But the interesting thing is that's what MakerBot was worth to a publicly held company, for over $400 million.
And their yearly revenue is probably about $40 million this year.
Yeah.
So it's a 10x revenue. It was actually very common, 10x of revenue. Maker Roots, built out of New York City Resistor.
Yeah.
Did a lot of stuff with Maker Faire, and it's part of like a massively publicly held company.
Bree and I worked together at Make, and I remember when he was messing around with the Make controller in a drawbot, and he kind of got obsessed with it. And I think that was like one of the first times I noticed that Bree might be doing something else one day. I hired him when he was a school teacher to stop being a cool teacher, come do cool videos at Make. And that was one of the times he was traveling with the bot, and he met Zach and Adam. They had NYC Resistor, and then the Cupcake came out, and then the Replicator, and then Replicator 2. They sold more Replicator 2s in 1 year than they did, I think, all bots before that. So they got up to $22 million in revenue for MakerBot. And so when you look at numbers like that, Stratasys probably thought, well, if we don't merge or do something, we might miss out on a consumer movement, because Stratasys is high-end stuff.
Yeah, so Stratasys, yeah, because like Stratasys is like these beautiful large machines. What's interesting is we actually had a Stratasys at the Media Lab, and like it actually, the print quality of the Stratasys 10 years ago was about the same as the MakerBot now. Yeah. But the Stratasys was like $300,000, not $3,000.
Yeah.
I mean, and the worst thing about the Stratasys is you had to pay for the material.
Yeah.
Like they had these cartridges, and you had to, and so you actually, every time you printed, you actually had to think really hard, because it was not like just plastic. Like
yeah.
they actually had this kind of crummy like cartridge thing. And so I think with 3D Systems, which is the big competitor, with the Cubify, now they're on to like the third revision of the Cubify, doing this deal with Staples. They're like, oh my God, we're missing out on this space. And they're probably like, well, we could build our own, but like, how long would that take?
Yeah.
Would we be successful?
Yeah.
They'd have to make something like Thingiverse or some share. I mean, like, by the time they did that, would they be another 2 years behind? Because it would take like a year or two just to get that done. It actually, even though it's fast for like one person to make a rep app, making a business and a company to be able to make a consumer or prosumer grade 3D printer still takes like a year or two.
So first off, congratulations to everyone at MakerBot and the investors and everybody. This is what I think.
This is a perfect story.
They would say this is a great exit for the people involved. There's a new chapter. They're part of a publicly held company. MakerBot's going to stay independent. I watched some of the press interview stuff.
Yeah.
And
they just opened up their factory.
They just opened up their factory. They have a retail store. And Stratasys, this is one of those things, like you were saying, of course they can make their own. In fact, they did make a PLA, extruder thing. But what did they actually buy? Probably what they bought was a consumer friendly brand, a community like Thingiverse, a presence and a movement, and something that just had momentum. So for everybody out there who's thinking about like starting a maker company, now's the best time. You have Kickstarter, Indiegogo, you have so many
all this is showing is that there is a market. People want the stuff, like the stuff that we do on weekends is what people want. Is the business of tomorrow. So yeah.
This is something that Bree had printed up. This is a little Buddha. I'm making up some other ones, low-res Buddhas that I thought are fun. This is my first little test that we did today. I have our Adafruit edition MakerBot at home now. Print up at home. So we're playing around. Yeah, we're playing around with some case designs.
So we're designing enclosures, and actually that's the one thing that I always wanted to use a 3D printer for is before you go to injection molding, being able to 3D print is awesome because it saves you so much time and money and effort. Because injection molding, you only get one chance.
And then one little bit of maker biz stuff. So people always ask, do we have funding? We have not taken funding.
No.
We've always been 100% self-funded. We've not opposed to venture capitalists. Some of my best friends are venture capitalists. Just right now, we really like being independent. So one day we'll wake up and we'll say, let's do a tour onion pie thing.
And I'll spend like 16 hours on it.
Let's hack the Kinect.
That's cool.
Let's hack the Kinect.
Let's make a helmet.
And take on Microsoft.
Smart helmet.
Or let's make a vomiting flashlight, something that is based on a patent. So we kind of zig in different ways, and so that's hard for people to understand. We like doing wearables. It's very early. Investors would probably say, hey, I want you to like work on 3D printers because I know you guys can. You should rent out your machine at night so you can do more contract manufacturing to make more money. So we're not opposed to it. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll do something. We're doing fine. We have money in the bank, and we have everything's going fantastic.
Plenty of cat food.
Make more money. So we're not opposed to it. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll do something. We're doing fine. We have money in the bank, and we have everything's going.
The more, the better.
Yeah.
There's always space for competitors.
Okay.
All right. Next up.
Pi Day.
Pi Day.
Pi Day. I'm going to blow through these kind of fast too. First up, look at this photo that John Janier took of the
That's
Pi.
a nice photo.
A nice photo.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out. So we're swapping out some photos, and this is one of the ones that came in. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Investors wouldn't like electronics on dark surfaces, by the way. Okay. Big news in the Pi Day, Pi world. Pi Miner. This is Pi Miner.
Pi Miner.
So Colin, who
not Pi Miner is in somebody under 18. Pi Miner is in like.
No, Pi Miner, not Pi Miner.
I know.
Pi Miner.
I know.
Okay. Pi Miner. So Colin.
Colin Cunningham.
Yeah, who's best known for Colin's Labs and Make Presents, and now
being awesome.
Now he's one of the creative engineers here at Adafruit works on Circuit Playground, the game, the app, and the show, and just all around great guy. I think he's a little obsessed with Bitcoin.
So we went after the Bees for Battery. We went to a nice vegetarian dinner. We were chatting with him, and he just started like telling us about Bitcoin stuff. And I was like, wow, you know a lot about Bitcoin.
The thing that happens, and
he knew a lot.
Yeah, it's good, and it's also we'll see. It'll be the downfall of Adafruit. I don't know. But when someone here has a hobby and something they're passionate about, I'm like, tell me more, and how can we turn this into something that's like, part of Adafruit.
Yeah.
So you can just get paid to do your hobby. So so Colin's hobby right now, and I should stress, Pi mining with hardware is a hobby. You will probably not make your money back.
But it's quite enjoyable as hobbies go.
It is super cool. And Colin kind of reminds me of the guy from the movie Pi, where you have this crazy contraption that's figuring out stuff.
And there's a chip.
And there's a chip, the magic chip.
So you got this ASIC.
So Colin got this hardware that actually turns a Raspberry. Well, he made the tutorial, which I'm going to show real quick. I also made another graphic. Look at that. Adafruit, Pi, equals Bitcoin. Bing, bing. So we have a tutorial, learn.adafruit.com.
Yeah.
Here's another great photo. John took this photo. Look at this thing. This is something that you just want. Just like
what's going on there?
It's a money machine. Look at this.
It is a money machine.
Yeah. So this is it here. But anyways, the Pi miner is neat, and we'll go to the overhead in a second. But
I'll just show this thing. That's the miner.
Yeah, so we show how to turn a Raspberry Pi into a Pi control and Pi monitor, and it's been running right before we started the show.
It's done 1 gigahash per second on average. It's pretty good.
Well, let's go to the overhead, and maybe you can show it real quick.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. You can just leave it like that.
All right.
So this is the Pi miner.
Okay, so this is the little USB controlled, and there's underneath this heatsink here. It's kind of hard to see it in focus, but under this heatsink here, there's an custom ASIC that it's just like really good at Bitcoin hashes. There's a little power supply here. There's like some flash, and there's a USB to serial converter. So it's actually I think what it does is it's pumping hash through USB. It's the server is saying, here's the hashes you should try or calculate, and then it calculates them and it spits back through the serial port which ones are succeeded, or I actually don't know that much about Bitcoin low-level stuff, but I'm assuming it's just hash calculation. And then down here, there's actually some breakouts, which is cool. So I'm going to play with this. This is mine, and there's a heat sink on the back. But we want to add another heat sink because these get hot. And then here is the Pi miner. So it's a Raspberry Pi, and we have a powered hub underneath because each one of these 4 miners use like 500 or 700 milliamps of power, and so to be able to run all this together, you need like a powered hub for sure. So we have a really great powered hub that works well. This is our LCD plate on the Pi, and the Pi is connected to the Wi-Fi. You need to be connected to Wi-Fi in order to get the hashes. So it's part of a pool, so you work together. So it's like it doesn't mine one coin; it mines like fractions of a coin, and then. Let me see. So it's doing the Stratum Bitcoin miner, and this is the identification of the site it's using, and it's how long it's been running. And then it's got 3 devices, and it's got an error rate of 0.1%. Apparently, it's normal. And then this is just the stats of like how many hashes it's doing, and then you can check out this. You can kind of scroll around. And then, you can turn the backlight on and off. And that's pretty much it. It's just running in the background. Colin, got some code that, I don't know if it was... you can turn the backlight on and off. And that's pretty much it. It's just running in the background. Colin, got some code.
I like this universe we're in. This is Bizarro World right now.
This is kind of cool.
Things are going pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely in a good sci-fi novel.
Yeah. All right, so real quick before we go on to new products, which we're going to go through pretty fast.
I know.
Code is Servo, 10% off everything in stock. All right, Lydia, it's time for
new products.
Okay, first up, what's this?
Okay, so this is actually something that we had in stock, and we're going to have we got again. Polar kind of argued with us, and they're like, well, you have to do an educational pack. It's a Polar heart strap, so some people are familiar with these from, there's watches or sometimes use exercise equipment. We'll have a tutorial for this shortly in the learning system, but basically it's a DIY kit where you can connect the strap to you just like normal underneath your rib cage, and then the receiver, which is a little green square there underneath, it will automatically, when you power it with 3 volts, it will connect to the transmitter, and it'll pulse with your pulse. heart rate. It'll blink LED with your heart rate. This is a way to do heart rate calculation without having any wires or clips or anything. It's completely wireless. We'll have a demo for it, but anyways, it's back in the store. Some people are waiting for it. You can pick one up. It's really easy to use, but we'll also have a tutorial shortly.
Okay, next up, we have an update to the Tor, the onion pie.
Yes.
What is the onion pie, lady?
Make your own Tor gateway. So this is a really cute little thing. You plug Ethernet into your Raspberry Pi and then a Wi-Fi adapter on the other side, and it will automatically create a Wi-Fi access point called Onion Pie. When you connect to it, all your traffic through that will be Tor routed, it'll onion routed through the Tor network, so you don't have to worry about your IP address being leaked out. It's a kind of cool project. We have a really cool tutorial. We had one with a big antenna. We ran out of big antenna Wi-Fi adapters. We're getting more, but then some people said, "Hey, I also want ones with little antenna, so it's like smaller." Because the range actually isn't. It's not a huge difference in range, by the way, between the small and the big antenna. And so we put a new pack in the store.
So if you're thinking about dropping some government doc PowerPoints, hitting Hong Kong, maybe taking a private jet to Iceland, this might be a product for you.
Tor can be handy. Also, you can use it when you're paying for stuff in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Check it out.
All right. Next.
Look at you. You are a hacker.
Yeah. Next up.
Okay.
What are these?
These are some big. That's the small 7 segment. So hold on. Let me light up my segments.
I'm going to show these John Junior photos first.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Then we're going to go.
So these are hex segment displays.
A little blurry there, maybe.
Oh, I know. I'm working on it. Okay, come on, you can do it. Okay, they're so bright. Okay, they're crazy bright, but it's basically hex segments, and you can kind of maybe see, instead of just 7 segments, you can actually do like full characters. They're really cute. We have single digits. This one is 0.8 inches tall, and then we have one that is totally massive, 2.3 inches tall. 1 second. Get this breadboard going. Okay. Oh my God, so bright. Crazy huge digits. So yeah, you can have a good time here with this gigantic digit. We don't have a driver or backpack for it. We will have something you can use soon, but you can also use some 74HC595s or other shift registers to drive this awesome display. This is actually the same digits that are used in the clock from Evil Mad Science, whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head. It's the really big one.
Yeah, we sell it. We're tired. Okay, let's keep
Whatever, it's a gigantic clock. Same size digits. Check it out. Build your own something or other.
Okay.
Get it. Huge.
Next up.
Glowy. Server party.
Yeah, so I'm going to just show a couple photos again.
Whoa, sorry about that.
Oh, I wasn't, you know what, let's skip this one real quick. And then we'll do the servos at the end.
Okay.
Let's go to this.
Let's go to the OLEDs. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we got the accelerometer, or was that last week?
Oh, the accelerometer was this week. Oh man, I forgot to bring it up.
Okay, why don't you just talk about it?
Well, let's talk about it because it's actually hard to.
They're not going to see anything.
I'm not going to demo it.
Yeah.
So this accelerometer is it's an analog output accelerometer. People who know the ADXL 335, this is the big sister to the 335. This one is a really cool sensor. I don't know what people are going to use it for, but whatever it is, it's really fast because this is a 200G sensor. Most accelerometers go up to like maybe 16 Gs. 3 to 8 Gs is really common. 16 Gs is maybe 32 Gs. Ooh, wow. This is 200s. This is used to like test race cars and rockets, and we're like, this is awesome. So we bought 100 chips, and we made a breakout, and it has 4 mounting holes because whatever it is, it's going. And check it out. It's got analog output, and it's a cool sensor. I don't know. I just want to see. I want to see the demo product that people use this for.
Yeah,
and that's just so cool.
Okay.
200 Gs. Triple access, any direction, 200 Gs.
Let's hit this, and then we'll do the servos.
Okay, so the OLED.
Okay, these are the OLEDs. I'm gonna.
This is a updated, but it's updated enough that I'm like, yeah, it's kind of new. So we had these color OLEDs, and we had them in a different form factor, and you had to actually wire up the 3-volt level shifter separately. And then we kind of realized everyone was using SPI. We should just make it more compact. Put the level shifter on the back. We also improved the power supply a little bit, and I'll show it on the overhead because it's quite pretty.
Look at that.
Yeah, it actually shows up really nicely, although it's really small. I don't know if you can. It's really bright too, but you can see there's sort of a flower. There you go. So yeah, you can see it's refreshing at almost the same rate, but there's a daffodil image on there. And the cool thing about OLEDs is they're extremely visible from any angle because they're OLEDs and they don't have a backlight. So they're actually quite low power. Yeah. And the image is quite bright and very vivid. So we have black and white OLEDs, and this is a really nice little color OLED. So it's an updated product.
Okay. And then on to the star of the show here. This is our servo shield. You guys are going to love this.
Yeah, so this is...
First, some photos.
So yeah, it's a servo shield for Arduino. We already have the servo driver, and people really like the servo driver, but we saw a lot of people try and use it with Arduino, and we're like, well, we can make it really easy to use with an Arduino by shieldifying it, making the power supply kind of work a little better with an Arduino, and it's stackable. So it only uses 2 pins. You can stack up to like 90 of these shields.
90, so like 90 times 16.
It's a lot. It's like 1,000. It's basically, yeah, like 63. You can stack 63.
I wonder who's going to do it first.
I know, that's a really tall stack.
Yeah.
As long as you're powering it, it uses I2C, and you can change the address up to 63 different addresses. So yeah, you can stack as many as you want. Great for if you want to drive like 16, 30, 70, 80, 1,000 servos.
Sounds like it's servo party time.
Servo party time.
All right.
It's time.
Do your thing.
The servo party.
Whoa.
So this is it driving 16 different servos. So you can see the servos plug in here. And you got a little power indicator. But you have to power it separately. So this is a 5-volt adapter just for powering the servos.
I can't hear you over the servos.
They drive a lot of, draw a lot of current. But yeah, you can drive all these servos. And the neat thing is, the Arduino doesn't actually have to do almost anything. It just sends the pulse rate. So unlike many servo drivers, where you actually have to constantly send data to the servos, this is free running. So you just set the pulse width, and then which takes like almost no time. Then the Arduino can go off and do other things. So this is really good for robotics, where you don't want to spend all your time in an interrupt, like moving the servos and making sure they don't jitter, which is really common when you're doing software servo. This is no jitter. It's like perfect. It's exactly the same resolution every time, and it's like super fine. You can actually use it with digital servos too. It can do much higher than 50 hertz. But I'm assuming most people use it.
I recorded a servo party in John's studio over here, so I got.
Let's do a servo party.
This is a pre-recorded servo party.
That's a servo party.
Yeah, look at that.
So yeah, I can drive any servos, 5, 6-volt servos, and yeah, you can stack them. I designed this so you can use the right angle headers for stackability, and there's a little proto area also since there's extra space.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, this thing is. That's a party.
Servo party time.
That's a party.
I turned it off because it's really
okay. And with that, new products.
Yay!
Whew. Okay.
Get 10% off any of the things you just saw.
Yeah, everything is pretty much in stock. We're doing pretty good. Servo is a code, 10% off. Everything is documented for stock.
Now's a good time to stock up on servo drivers and large hex segment displays.
Yeah, pay some bills. Otherwise, we're going to take funding and sell this place to Radio Shack.
For $5.95.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So let's go to some questions.
Okay.
We're going to do questions really fast, and then we'll do a giveaway.
Ooh.
All right. So ask your questions.
Digital Buddha and I are ready.
Yeah. Folks are getting ready to ask their questions. There was a question earlier, and I missed it, or there was a few questions. Can you do Minecraft Pi tutorial for the Pi?
Yeah, maybe we'll check that out. I've never actually played Minecraft, but I'd like to.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if there was some use of the GPIO too, like it was.
Want me to turn this on?
No. I'm just being safe.
Well, you should turn it on if you're going to wear it, right? What's the point of wearing all these things? Okay.
All right.
I posted a Vine right before the show. The studio setup is getting really nice here. We have microphones now. We have better lighting. We have a lot of stuff going on.
It's just easier for all that equipment to be over this side.
Yeah.
It's over here. Also, you can say Ask Engineer. You can see it says Ask Engineer.
Eduardo from Brazil says hi. Okay.
Hello.
Next up, can I has I2C multiplexer?
You know, we actually checked out one, and they're kind of a pain to use. We might revisit it, but I2C multiplexer is kind of iffy. So, yeah. We prefer just trying to carry stuff that has address select pins, if possible.
Okay. Can you order small quantities of PCBs from Advanced Circuits?
You can. They do have a prototyping service. You can get you can pay per inch, and it ships the next day, which is really nice. But you don't have mask, and there's a version with mask, and it's like $50.
Okay,
like,
next
certain size.
Where did you get the helmet for the light-up helmet? We just searched for Carrera folding helmet.
Carrera folding helmet.
Yeah, and we found a store in Germany that would ship it to us. It's the first link if you Google for it. Next up, do you guys use any special software to tune PID loops?
You know, we don't do a lot of PID loop tuning, but if you're using the PID loop on an Arduino, Brett Beauregard has an excellent PID library and a tuning library. You can check it out in our sous vide tutorial, which you don't need to use the tuner. We kind of put in some PID values that kind of work, but that's one way to do it. But no, we don't usually tune with software.
Okay, do you guys know of a good place online to get LiPo batteries of different sizes?
Yes, the Adafruit store.
Adafruit.com is a great store you should check out.
We have like 5 sizes, I think.
Do we give tours? No, we don't give tours. We're not a retail shop, and we're in a factory, a zone for manufacturing, so we really can't do tours.
You can kind of see the whole place from here, though.
Yeah, we'll do a video
Here's
tour.
our packaging equipment.
Yeah, we'll do a video tour. We have in the past, and we'll continue to do more video tours. What is the weight of a Leyden Swan? Oh, that's a question. What is the power draw for the Bitcoin miner? I don't know.
Lots.
Yeah, Colin might post that up.
Yeah, I don't know, but I believe it's going to be, I think it's like 700 or 500 milliamps per miner when it's running. Man, I can't ever find the switch.
Can we help you?
No, I got it.
Okay. Next up, it's a really Brian has a question about the VS103 Arduino library. I've been using it and enjoying it a lot lately. Thanks for making it. So I'm trying to use a plugin. I got off the VSLA website. It's the Spectrum Analyzer plugin. I want to use the library's load plug function, but it hasn't worked so far. The first part of the problem is the SD doesn't recognize the file. This is a giant question. You should post this on the forum. You should post this in the forum.
Whatever's in the library is what it supports. Anything else may not be tested.
Yeah.
So also, like, sometimes plugins interact. It can be a little weird. The chips are not super unflaky when you load a lot of plugins.
Yeah, okay. Do we stock 2-row headers?
We do not use 2-row headers. We have some 3-row headers, but we don't have 2-row
We're having a lot of hay smokes problems. Singapore, any recommendation for DIY air quality sensors? No, there's not a great one yet.
I haven't seen any really good ones. And the thing is, the really good ones are really expensive.
Okay. How big is your factory? 12,000 square feet, and we're getting more space, so we should be up to like 20,000 square feet soon. Next up. Going into it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like the city helmet, the smart helmet idea, the fact that the company who makes this helmet wants to make a smart helmet because they saw something we did. I'm really excited about that. I think there's a lot of potential there. I like the Circuit Playground series. Kids are making stuff, and they're learning, and that's kind of the goal. Yeah. I'm excited that like it's summertime and like
yay!
Yeah, we're giving everybody the day
Summer
off
solar
on the on July 4th.
Yep.
Paid holiday for everybody here at Adafruit. I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited about the summer solar because we have an awesome solar charger and people are doing some cool projects.
And we have some cool projects coming out soon.
Yeah. Next up, what will you guys fill the space with? Well, inventory and
electronics.
Inventory and more equipment and machinery and people. Yeah. Let's see. I think. Okay, your new 200G accelerometer is mentioned by several. Will the soldering or other parts be on the board before it breaks before it experiences 200Gs?
No.
Yeah.
No, those parts are really soldered on. I'm not too worried about it. If you're concerned, you can always epoxy the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do a trivia question. Whew. We got through this. Trivia question time.
Okay.
Leah, what is?
The rules is.
What is a rule? What is a rule? What are the rules?
The rules are if you've won something from the awesome trivia question here on Ask Engineer, you can't enter again. So sit on your hands, go make yourself a sandwich, or print out a 3D Buddha, which is something you should be doing anyways, and meditate about the fragility of life. And then the first person to enter in the answer correctly into the chat window, the Ustream chat window, wins the prize. The prize is a servo
It's going to be a servo shield.
Servo shield. Ooh.
Yeah. So this is going to be pretty easy here. The first person to post the link to the Learn guide, there's a giant bug in here. The Learn guide in the chat will win a servo shield. So just cut and paste the link.
The link to the Learn tutorial for
the servo shield.
And you can't have one already, so don't do it even if it's easy, even if it's you know it and you won. Don't do it.
Do someone's going to
Somebody
win.
new.
Yeah, someone's going to win.
Go to Run System.
/foo, congratulations /foo. Email support@adafruit.com and you will have your own servo party.
Thing I'm pointing to right now.
Servo party.
Servo party.
This is yours. Not all the servos.
For the shield.
Servo shield.
I'm sure you have some cool projects you can do with a servo shield. And some servos. Probably some servos anyways. Almost everybody's got some servos kicking around.
Yeah. Okay. So email us at support@adafruit.com and you will get that.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet.
Okay. We're going to wrap up the show. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for getting us to 300,000 orders. Oh, my gosh.
Do you want to do the top secret?
What?
Do you want to do the top secret?
I don't think we have time for the top
Okay.
secret product. I think it'll have to be next week.
Oh, well.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're just running out of time. Thank you everyone for watching the show. We'll be coming up on 4 years soon.
I know.
Thank you everybody from Adafruit who is watching. Thank you all the viewers who are watching out there. Thank you all the show and tell participants.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That there was a show and tell a couple weeks ago that I was like, this is the best one ever. I can say this is what we're all about. This is the show and tell. It had a little look at this giant bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I killed it, so.
Yeah, you killed it on me.
On air. Sorry.
Okay.
It stepped. Don't step to the pink hair chick. Don't step.
Well, you're the one who smacked it.
Yeah. No, it's me talking to the fly saying don't step.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it was a fab.
That fly's never gonna do that again.
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyways, so I thought finally I have one that I could send around.
But that was before the Press Your Luck simulator.
Yeah.
In the laser show.
Yeah, but so now this is the new best one.
Yeah.
I like saying new best one.
New best.
This is the best.
Best
something ever.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Next
everybody.
week. Even better. We're gonna go to sleep.
I debugged you. You had some bugs.
I had to debug some bugs earlier, and now I'm bugged.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's go to sleep.
Here it is. Here's a cat. He's home resting. We're gonna go see him in a minute. Here is your moment of Zener.